I just think that if Max Scherzer just is going to decide to continue with his career, I think you look towards the future in the bullpen. I think he would be a better fit in the bullpen. Maybe even as a closer.
In Okinawa for him.
He'd make a lot of money as a closer. Being that he's 40 years old, you pitch him in the ninth. I think he did very well coming in the playoffs.
A lot for the Nationals.
Yeah, the Nationals. So I think he'd be a good pitcher coming in as a closer or an eighth inning guy, and he could still play for the next couple of years and make all the money he wants. So
but there's a problem with that. Mm-hmm. Okay, that works for this year. If that's what you want to do, that works for this year.
No, I don't think the Mets are going to do that.
The Mets are not going to do it this year.
They need pitching.
If he opts out, because he hasn't opted out after this year and another team brings him in, it's interesting.
But it wouldn't work going forward because Edwin Diaz comes back next year.
But it might not be with the Mets.
It's not going to be with the Mets.
It might not be with the Mets.
I don't think the Mets
opt out, and I don't think he'll opt out. But if the Mets decide to move him or whatever because they are too over the salary cap, it could be hard, or luxury tax.
Speedy, let me ask you a question.
God.
You're hurt. You're old. Just imagine you're 41 years old.
Okay.
Get in your time machine and go forward. I don't know, 13 years? How old are you, Speedy? Go forward
27, so yeah.
Right, so you go forward 14 years. Okay, go forward. And then pretend everything on your body hurts and you're feeble and you're old and you borderline have the body of Beeve, right? Everything's terrible. Are you opting out of $50 million?
I know. I'm not saying he's going to.
You're opting out of $50
No. I'm not saying
million.
He's going to, but it's interesting to think if he's not a Met, if another team could try
Even
him
if he comes
role.
back next year, I could see the Mets putting him in the bullpen. He might not be the closer. He'll be an eighth inning or seventh, eighth inning guy. If you have Max Scherzer pitching your seventh and eighth inning every other day or every other day, I mean, you have a pretty good pitcher going in the seventh inning, pitching six.
He's signed up to Uncle Stevie's elderly relief fund.
Errol and I were joking about that during the offseason. We were saying Steve Cohen should just buy the Museum of Natural History.
That's what I'm saying. So are you opting? Because didn't he get what did he get?
43 million a year.
43.
No, I don't think he's going to opt out. I'm just saying
he's not.
If for whatever reason the Mets decide to
Mets could trade him.
If they decide to trade him, they're going to lose a lot of value because
Dude, are you nuts? Are you nuts?
I'm not saying they should. I'm saying if they do.
No, what the Mets would do, nobody's going to take the contract, but they could pay half the contract. They could pay half the contract and send him away.
One team that's taken on $43 million.
No, I'm not saying that they'll take half the contract and trade the other half to another team that might need a starter or maybe somebody that could put him in the bullpen. So I don't know.
There's always going to be a surprise team that could take on that or not all of it, but a lot of that money if they feel like they're ready to contend and need a starter.
I could see the Cardinals. Right. They like old guys. They like old pitchers.
The Cardinals are done. They stink this year. Are you watching any Cardinals
baseball? I know.
They're atrocious.
Yeah, they've been.
But they always stink in the first half, and then in the second half they explode. Last year they stunk in the first half too, and then all of a sudden, I think they were third place at the All-Star break, and then all of a sudden they picked up the game, and I think they won more games than any National League team in the second half last year.
Stinking in third place? That stinks.
But third place in a division that everybody thought you were either second or the best last year.
Oh, they were one place behind where their projection was. They stink.
Well, again, also, but Jeff, the factor of these surprise teams too. There's always going to be. Think about whatever equivalent is going to be of the Orioles, what they were last year. Team with no payroll that breaks out of nowhere. Whoever that team is could think, okay, if I feel like we're a pitcher away, maybe take on $25 million of the Scherzer contract and say, all right, we could contend with Scherzer.
What do you mean they came out of nowhere? The entire universe has been waiting for Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson to
I said last year. They weren't supposed to be close to a playoff team. Yeah, no, they were supposed to be better. They weren't supposed to be close to a playoff team.
No, I didn't think they were going to be 10-22 right now. But again, I don't think they're this bad. Okay, so and they have two of the best players at their position.